conference is to really focus on how Angelenos are going to be impacted on traffic patterns. So we'll hear from speakers on that this afternoon. First, we'll hear from Mayor Karen Bass. Following that, we'll hear from LA Department of Transportation General Manager Laura Rubio Cornejo. Following that, we'll hear from California Secretary of Transportation Tokes Omashakin. After that, we'll hear from Caltrans Deputy District Director John Yang. After that, we'll hear from LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. And the final speaker will be Metro CEO Stephanie Wiggins. I'll call for questions from the left here. And with that, I'll give it to Mayor Bass.
Thank you all for being here today. Just a few hours ago, we talked about the impact that this fire will have on our city. This press conference is to drill down on traffic changes so that Angelenos watching can have a sense of the changes, but also so that our partners in the media are able to communicate to those watching exactly what to expect. Our top line message is this: if you are driving through downtown, stay on the freeway and take the route around. If you need to come through downtown, our Department of Transportation General Manager will walk us through the best routes. As you plan, visit emergency.lacity.gov for updates. In addition to encouraging Angelenos to take important precautions, we are also hoping for downtown businesses to join us and lean in on work-from-home policies to help alleviate traffic. I know we've spent this time trying to encourage people to come back downtown, back into their offices, but while we are going through this crisis, we would like for employers who can have their staff work remotely to do so. Like I said earlier, this is an emergency. During the 1994 Northridge earthquake, Caltrans worked 24/7 to complete emergency repairs to the freeways, and this structural damage calls for the same level of urgency and effort. We will continue to provide updates as they come, and I encourage Angelenos to stay informed. So our strategy is three-pronged. Number one, ensuring that there is a plan for Angelenos who commute or live by this incident. Number two, working to get the 10 freeway up and running again as fast as possible. Number three, providing as much information as possible to ensure that our communities and commuters are well informed every step of the way. On Saturday, I directed all city departments to immediately plan for how to address increased traffic due to this closure to best mitigate the impact on Angelenos, and we will continue to urgently coordinate with our state partners to resolve this issue for not only the millions who use the freeways, but also to those who live and work in the surrounding areas. We are presenting today the first iteration, and as you can see behind me, we are closely watching the impact, and we will make adjustments as needed to ease the flow of traffic to the best of our ability. I want to assure Angelenos that we are working night and day to make the repairs necessary to restore the freeway. Again, please plan for delays and check for alternative routes. Traffic officers are on location to alleviate traffic impacts. Please heed traffic officers' instructions. Angelenos, we came together several months ago and everyone cooperated during the hurricane, and we had no loss of life. I need to call on all Angelenos again to come together. This is not going to be resolved in 1 or 2 days. We will keep everyone informed, but as we are learning the extent of the damage, we will keep you informed, but we need to stay together. And as you are informed, please cooperate with the instructions that you are given. Thank you, and we'll continue to provide you updates. You can go to emergency.lacity.gov. Now I'd like to introduce our General Manager for the Department of Transportation, Laura Rubio Cornejo.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. My name is Laura Rubio Cornejo, General Manager for the Los Angeles Department of Transportation. You are joining us today from our Advanced Transportation Systems and Coordination Center, otherwise known as ATSAC. where LADOT traffic engineers are actively monitoring the impacts of the closure on the 10 freeway in downtown Los Angeles. As you can see, our teams have access to real-time intelligence and data of traffic impacts and can adjust our traffic signals to meet the demands and keep our city moving. Nevertheless, the major closure will impact travel times, and Angelenos should prepare and plan ahead in advance of next or this coming week's commute. First, if traveling in or around downtown LA, your best option is to travel by public transit, particularly Metro Rail, which allows you to avoid the impacts of the closure entirely. You can plan a trip by using Metro Trip Planner and metro.net. If you are driving and your route requires you to pass downtown LA, as the mayor indicated, please stay on the freeway. There are other routes that you can use, including the 5, the 101, and the 110 freeways to circumvent the closure. The route is detailed over my shoulder. If your destination isn't downtown and you need to access surface streets, for example, if you are a parent taking a child to any of the 6 public or private schools in the impacted area, our engineers have developed a detour map to ensure people can access their destination. And if you'll just give me a minute. So, to reiterate, for those traveling from the east on the 10 freeway, your first and primary exit should be to exit here in the 7th Street area. If I could just go this way. Can you take a step back? Sure. Let me zoom back out. Okay? So if you're traveling from the east, your first and goal should be to exit at 7th Street. If for whatever reason you miss this exit, your last point to exit will be down here at Mateo and Santa Fe Avenue. If you are traveling from the west, please consider taking the 110 before you get into downtown to access other downtown streets. However, should you miss that interchange, you can also exit. Your last point of exit will be at Alameda, right here. Okay. On surface streets with impacted areas, we will have positioned traffic officers to provide direction to motorists and have implemented limited direction-based closures to minimize traffic impacts. We have arranged to have 18 traffic officers near the impacted schools between the hours of 7 to 9 a.m. and 2 to 4 p.m. In addition to those 18 traffic officers, we will have an additional 10 traffic officers throughout the immediate impacted area, and we are able to bring in additional resources as needed. LAPD will also be providing us with additional support in the event that it is needed. Working in coordination with the engineers here at ATSAC Center, we will continually adjust and deploy field resources to support the repair and construction teams from Caltrans and respond to traffic conditions in real time. This effort relies upon the cooperation of all Angelenos. I repeat, if you can take the train, please do so. As the mayor indicated, if you are able to work remotely, please do so as well. But if you do need to drive, please plan ahead. Know your route, avoid the impacted area if possible, drive safely, and be mindful of those around you, traffic officers, other motorists, pedestrians, and cyclists. Thank you. At this point, I would like to introduce Secretary of Transportation, Toks Omishakin.
Thank you, our General Manager. Again, Toks Omishakin, California's Transportation Secretary. As has been stated already, this briefing is particularly about traffic and the detours that we think we're going to be expecting and that we're planning throughout the region, throughout the city. But I think before I get into a little bit of the detail, and you'll hear some more from our Caltrans team as well, before I get into some of the details of that detour, as the General Manager just explained, I want to say that this challenge on the I-10 is the #1 priority for the governor. If you were at the briefing earlier, he's asked for a 24/7 operation from all state agencies involved in any kind of way, from CAL FIRE to Caltrans to CHP. It's an all hands on deck approach. That's the expectation from the governor, and he's committed to that with the mayor as well. So just to be clear on that. And before I share just a little bit more about traffic, let me just say a little bit about, again, how we got to this point this evening. And some of this detail you know a little bit already. Again, due to the November 11th early morning fire that caused damage to the freeway columns and bridge deck on the Interstate 10, just south of downtown Los Angeles, the freeway remains fully closed between Alameda Street and the East LA interchange. The goal is to open as quickly as possible and safely as possible this freeway. Our structural engineers need to assess the integrity of the bridge columns and also assess fully the deck underneath the bridge. The area needs to remain safe for all of our workers who are going to be present as well. Caltrans has secured a $3 million emergency contract to bring in a contractor to test and clear hazardous material, handle freeway and road closures, and conduct possible restoration of the structure. Again, a lot of the details around this restoration is still yet to be determined. The contractor took samples overnight on Saturday and into Sunday morning and sent them to the testing lab this morning. Once we get clearance that the area is fully safe, our structural engineers will get full admittance into the site, and we'll be able to work with power lifts to conduct sound tests on those damaged columns and, again, the underside of the deck of the bridge. As has been noted already, Caltrans is urging everyone, in partnership with the city, to avoid this area if they can. Use alternate routes, that is I-5, the I-110, and State Route 60. We're also encouraging people to use public transit, carpool, or even possibly telework. We are coordinating all these efforts with LA Metro, Metro Link, and LADOT as they look to expand transit service throughout the area. We want to do this safely and let our engineers do their work and make their assessments so that repairs can get on the way as quickly as possible. Now to the specifics on the detour, again, similar to what the general manager just mentioned. Motorists on northbound I-5 and State Route 60 should continue to northbound US 101 and then south on I-110 to return westbound on I-10. All this information, by the way, you will be able to get online. The mayor noted several websites or social media that you can visit to get this specific information. But before you travel, please make sure you pay attention to that and get that information. Motorists westbound on I-10 will take the northbound to US 101 to southbound on I-10 to return to westbound I-10. And motorists on eastbound on I-10 should take the northbound I-110 to southbound US 101 to continue eastbound on I-10 and on the eastbound State Route 60 and southbound on I-5. Caltrans is also coordinating, as has been mentioned already, all these efforts with the city on directional signage and signal timing for traffic exiting freeways and local streets. Again, we appreciate everyone's patience as we look to address this situation. It's evolving over the next several hours as the investigation is completed, hazmat work is done, and structural engineers get full access to do a full examination of the impact to the structure. And until then, will we be able to give you detailed information about how long the repair is going to take, how much it's going to cost. All that is yet to come. We will be coordinating. The governor will be coordinating all of that with Mayor Bass. But in the meantime, detours and traffic is our focus as the Monday morning commute looks to kick off. Look forward to some possible questions. Up next, a very important person that's going to be engaged in this effort to get the bridge back in order, John, one of our deputy construction managers here in District 7. John?
Thank you, Secretary Tokes and Mayor. My name is John Yang. I'm the Deputy District Director for Construction in District 7. As Secretary alluded, we have a situation on Interstate 10 that we're gonna close between Interstate 110 to East LA interchange both directions. And the reason we do that is because we want the motorists stay on the state highway system and without flooding the unnecessary local streets to create more congestion on the streets that's really not related to this closure. And we have also TMC. As you see, this is ASAC from City of LA. Our Los Angeles Regional Transportation Management Center is also monitoring our regional network. And we are going to assess the current strategy, working with Metro and also City of LA, trying to find out and fine-tune the current situation. We're gonna monitor our traffic 24/7 while the work is going on in the field to restore these freeway lanes back to the traveling public. So rest assured, we're working day and night, and we'll reach our goal to provide you the lanes back. At this time, we cannot tell you how long it's gonna take because we just got the initial report. It's gonna take more time for the environmental process. However, rest assured, structural material testers are in place, taking samples, and we will soon have a strategy, and by which time we will unveil that with the public, so we will know how long this is gonna take. At this time, I'm gonna leave to the question and answer session, and Mayor? Oh, I'm sorry. Next is LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the leadership of our mayor, Mayor Bass, and state and local entities for the very aggressive and effective communication that has been established between the city and LAUSD. Since early this morning, the mayor and I have spoken and have devised plans to alleviate what no doubt will be some potential delays associated with school transportation tomorrow, or certainly our own workforce reporting to their work sites. We're going to try to provide students with a degree of normalcy, not only educationally speaking, but a lot of our students, due to their socioeconomic conditions, depend on the breakfast and lunch and enrichment activities that we provide as a school system. So it is our first priority to maintain all schools open. So that's the first point. All schools will be open tomorrow, independently of the seriousness of this incident and the repercussions it has caused. With that said, we have identified a number of schools that we believe will be significantly impacted as a result of the I-10 closure at the interchange. Those are 9th Street Elementary, 20th Street Elementary, Metropolitan Continuation High School, Inner City Arts, Para los Niños Charter. But that's not all. We transport in excess of 40,000 students every single day, particularly students with disabilities and those who attend magnet schools. So you may have students who live in different areas whose bus route ordinarily will travel through the area that's currently closed. Certainly students who live in Boyle Heights and would be transported to Hamilton High School will be impacted. Or conversely, anyone who lives west of the incident trying to get to Bravo Medical Magnet School, those will be impacted. So we expect some degree of delay impacting a significant number of students throughout the day tomorrow and over the next days or perhaps weeks, depending on the pace of repair to the freeway. We have sent robotic communications in a multitude of languages to all of our parents and our entire workforce, particularly targeting our school bus drivers, who are by and large represented by SEIU 99, to ensure that they are aware of the difficulties getting to the bus depots, but also the necessary detours that they will be taking to get children to school on time and safely. I want to thank also the city for the additional deployment of traffic enforcement entities around the schools most likely impacted. Again, we expect a reasonably normal school day tomorrow, impacted by the possibility of some delays getting to school, but then also leaving school. For any information, 1-800-LA-BUSES, 1-800-LA-BUSES. Any one of your questions may be addressed. Me siento muy agradecido al liderazgo de nuestra alcaldesa, la señora Bass, y las entidades municipales por la comunicación que han establecido con nosotros en el Sistema Unificado de Los Ángeles. Mañana esperamos un día escolar normal, pero impactado por este incidente. Sin duda, vamos a ver algunos atrasos en nuestros autobuses escolares. Sentimos muy agradecidos a la alcaldesa por la presencia de entidades de la ley para proteger a nuestros niños, principalmente en las escuelas más impactadas debido a este incidente. Nos hemos comunicado no solamente con nuestros conductores de autobuses escolares, con nuestros padres de familia, explicándoles que mañana será posible que los niños van a experimentar algunos atrasos en sus transportes escolares debido a este incidente. Vamos a continuar a trabajar para minimizar los impactos debido a este incidente. So once again, I want to thank Mayor Bass, not only for your leadership, but also your partnership with our school system. Thank you very much.
Let me bring up our CEO from Metro, Stephanie Wiggins.
Thank you, Mayor Bass. Thank you for your leadership on this issue and as chair of the LA Metro Board. Also want to thank Secretary Omashakin. Caltrans has been a partner with Metro, and I even got the call yesterday morning early from Caltrans leadership about the impact of this closure. There are 3 points I want to make in sharing Metro's perspective and getting information out to the community about how they can avoid the closure. That is to plan ahead, share the ride, and we have a commitment to real-time updates. So planning ahead, Metro, and in our service in particular, we will continue to provide both bus and rail service for those who need to get to downtown LA or through downtown LA. At this point, there's only one bus line that we anticipate on Detour, that's line 66. We have significant amount of rail service. Our E-line runs for 22 miles. It essentially parallels the 10 freeway between East Los Angeles and Santa Monica with 29 stations. We also have our A-line, which runs 48.5 miles with 44 stations from Azusa to Long Beach. It's also an alternative to the 110 and the 210 freeways. For those coming from the Inland Empire and Orange counties to downtown LA and through downtown, we suggest taking Metrolink San Bernardino or Riverside Line or Orange County Line into Union Station, where riders can connect with our A, B, and D lines or a number of bus lines to get to their final destination. Our partner Metrolink is adding more service in response to this closure. Specifically, they're adding 6 round trips between Covina and Union Station, and they're also adding rail cars on the San Bernardino line beginning tomorrow morning. On our bus line side, east of LA, we have the Silver Line. That's line 910 and 950 that travels from El Monte all the way to the Harbor Gateway Transit Center in San Pedro. We also have lines 487 and 489 that travel from the Sierra Madre station in the Pasadena area all the way to downtown LA, and they operate along the 10 express lanes. And parallel to those, we have line 76 on Valley, north of the 10, and line 70 on Garvey, south of the 10. Our transit partners also have alternate bus options, including Foothill Transit, which has multiple lines that serve San Gabriel Valley to downtown LA, including their Silver Streak Express from Montclair to downtown LA using the 10 express lanes. Also, they offer downtown LA express bus lines, the 490, the 493, the 495, the 498, and 499. They avoid congestion expected around the 5, the 10, the 60, and the 101 just east of downtown LA. And in the immediate area of the fire or the 10 closure, there are multiple bus lines as options, including our Line 18 between Montebello and Wilshire Western on 6th Street, and Line 66. As I mentioned before, while it will be on detour, it still will be operating between Montebello and Wilshire Western on Olympic. So plan ahead. There are plenty of opportunities to share the ride, including carpooling if you have to drive the freeway. For information, our commitment is to ensure real-time information updates. As you've heard earlier, people can go online to metro.net. On our homepage right now is a service advisory providing all the details and information on routes not only by Metro, but our transit partners that I mentioned. Also want to encourage people to call 323-GO-METRO for real-time assistance on specific route planning tools. And as a region, we've invested for more than a decade on our traveler information system with the support of Caltrans. That's 511. 511 covers motorists who are traveling to downtown LA from the Inland Empire, from Orange County, and even Ventura County, as well as LA County. Go 511, as well as 511.com will get you information as well, real-time traffic updates. Again, plan ahead, share the ride, and we're committed to real-time updates. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Let me acknowledge Assemblymember Miguel Santiago, who is here, who represents the area, and also our chief, our fire chief, Kristen Crowley. We'll take questions now.
So my question is, I feel like everybody's going to be on the 101, and let's just face it, this is LA. People love their cars. A lot of people are not going to take public transit no matter what. So people headed from the south or headed downtown, how much extra time should they give themselves if they're going to be hitting the 101? I feel like that's my call.
Right. So again, if you're on the freeway, we encourage you to stay on the freeway, and there's lots of other options to transition from the 101 onto the 110 in order to get into the local downtown streets, if that is your final destination. Otherwise, stay on the freeway. I would encourage all Angelinos and those beyond who are traveling through and to the area to first thing in the morning, check and double check what their travel time should be. I would assume anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes at this point until we get a better understanding of what people's travel patterns will be in response to this detour.
And let me just add, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the apps that people use, Google Maps, Waze, will also have this information, correct?
Correct.
So you should have an estimation of your travel time. And KNX, of course.
Yeah, that's me. Sorry, I'm Joy. Hi. I just had a question. Where are we, and this may be better for the chief, where are we as far as the investigation as to what caused the fire? And it started the pallet and spread to the cars or started the cars and spread to the pallet? Or what are you thinking at this point?
Sure. So just an update. It's an active investigation. The LAFD came in early. Obviously, we handled and mitigated the emergency right there and then. Took us a number of hours. But with that, now that's an active investigation with arson investigators. We have partnered, and now we are stepping away from that point, and now it's a lead from CAL FIRE arson investigators. So we have taken a supportive role because it is on state property. We have liaisoned with them. They're moving forward with their investigation actively and aggressively. They should have an update from the state side tomorrow morning. That's what they've been sharing with us, and at that point, we should have some more information for you.
Just to follow up, I'm hearing from people in the neighborhood that there may have been a homeless encampment nearby. One, was everybody okay from that? Could that have been a cause from the fire? I know 2 years ago we had one down on Santa Fe, another pallet fire. That one was started by a homeless encampment. Are you aware of any of that?
Just what I can share at this point is we did not have any patients that were generated from this large incident. And as for any of the encampments in that area, We do not have any direct correlation at this point as to if that's where it did start or didn't. Again, we're going to have to stand by and wait for the active investigation to be completed, and we'll share that information with you as soon as we can.
Do we know why all those cars weren't there? Is it a parking lot or anyone know?
Look, to your first question about timing to figure out the next steps here. Thank you, Mayor. At some point tomorrow morning, we will find out from the State Fire Marshal, which is a part of CAL FIRE. We will find out from them the details of what they found out from this investigation. But the investigation will be completed in the morning. That doesn't necessarily, I need to be clear about that. It doesn't necessarily mean that early in the morning you will get a full report out on all the details of this investigation. That means the investigation will be complete. We will be informed, all the state agencies, the mayor as well will be kept in the loop. So at some point tomorrow morning, we'll have a little bit more clarity on the investigation. As far as the cars under our right-of-way, I'm sure as you know by now, we leased out this property to an entity. And they, from what we're hearing so far, this property was possibly subleased as well. So whose vehicles are those actually, who they belong to? We still don't know that information. It's possibly the person that the entity that we leased it to, or some of the sublease tenants that were on site. But we don't have that information yet. We will provide a full report on actions related to that right away as soon as that becomes available. Yeah, thank you.
Let me just say also, you referenced the encampment. Right now, we believe there were about 16 people, unhoused people that were there, and we have housed everybody.
16 that were living directly under the freeway?
Well, you know, nearby, because it was really across the street. And again, let me just reiterate what our chief said, which is right now, there's no correlation between the unhoused individuals and the fire. They're okay. Yes, they're fine.
Any other final questions?
Let me just say that we do plan to have an additional press conference in the morning to keep you updated on routes. And again, I would just appeal to Angelenos. This is going to be a minute. It's not going to be a day or so. And we need to stick together to be as informed as possible and then to cooperate. We know that about 300,000 people drive through that route on those freeways every day. So that's why it's going to take massive cooperation for us to get through this. But we can. Thank you.
I actually have one more question. Is this the busiest intersection or not?
I don't think so. This isn't. Yeah.
Freeway stretches in LA, or does it seem?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if LADOT can add a little bit to this, but this segments of the 110 throughout California, as you know, this is an east-west corridor. This goes all the way out east. But some sections of the I-10 corridor in California have been ranked in the top 10 in the entire country as far as busiest freeways in America. So this is a very busy route. As the mayor's noted, the governor mentioned early on today, 300,000 vehicles. This is undoubtedly one of the busiest freeways in California as well because it hits that top 10 radar for the nation.
In this interchange in particular, this section, you don't know where.
We don't have the specifics. Okay, you want to add something to that? Yeah.
Sure. So this is one of the busiest, as the secretary has indicated. It connects Angelenos coming from the east to the west and vice versa. The East Los Angeles interchange is a critical interchange for those coming from the east, and similarly from the west connecting into downtown. While we don't know where it ranks in terms of kind of statewide or nationwide, it is critical to the health of the city and movement of the city. So we really ask that Angelenos be mindful, plan ahead, take transit if you're able to, and double check your travel times and just be patient. Be patient and be kind when you're on the road.
Thank you so much. And Laura's available for Spanish both sides as well.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we have been watching a 35-minute press conference led by Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass on the state of the 10 freeway after that devastating